I've been around. I've been to lots of rural towns throughout the country. I've done close to 500 seminars over the last 11 years and probably met with 2 to 3,000 separate independently owned businesses. So I've done a lot and I've touched a lot. And when I was running stores and restaurants, as few as 18 and as many as 500, um, I've made mistakes. And I'm here to tell you that if you're not making mistakes, you're not taking enough risks. And it's about risk reward today, and particularly today, since we're in the middle of the COVID-19 grasp, and it looks like it's getting worse, not better, over the next 30 days or so. You have to evolve your business as the consumer evolves. So I think it's important to note that what is different this year. I think the better thing to ask is what's not different this year in terms of moving into the holiday season. Um, I think you'll find this interesting. There was a survey done back in March when COVID was just discovered and announced. And the main concern from the consumer in March was safety and whether the store is antiseptic or not. So they were looking for safety in shopping. And that same survey was redone in October, just a month ago. And convenience had upped one over safety. And I think it's because the consumer believes that you've had time to make your store safe, and by now it should be safe. And they can tell from the outside whether it's safe. So they can tell whether they're going to shop with you or not. But convenience has become one of the primary drivers. So, what's that mean in today's world? Well, convenience means the customer is following the four A's. And what I mean by the four A's is they want anything, anytime, anywhere, and anyhow they want it. So think about that for a minute. That means that you have to be able to deliver to the customer in any manner in which they want it delivered. And I don't mean delivered in terms of taking it to their homes, although the consumer does believe that the safest way to get product today is for have you deliver it to their house. They believe that's the safest, most antiseptic way for them to get a product. So you have local delivery as their number one choice. But then you have BOPS, which is BOPIS, and that stands for buy online, pick up in store. And that's probably the number one way that product is being delivered to customers today, particularly if we include the big box stores. And then you have shipping, which we'll talk about in a minute, because you're going to have to ship more this year than you've ever shipped in the past. And then you have people that feel comfortable enough to be out there shopping in your store. So you now have four different ways of getting product to the customer. And they expect you to be able to do any one of those four depending on what they want most that day or that week or that month. So let's look at this first slide, your business situation. Take stock, what really has to be done right now. And what I'm encouraging you to do is to think about your break even. What do you have to do a month to break even? And I'm hoping that you've been doing that for the last several months. And over the next 60 days during the month of November and December, you should be way, way, way above your break even, because most stores do a large portion of their volume in these 60 days that we're in right now. And the other thing that's changed somewhat is that Black Friday has been spread out over a number of days and actually started Black Friday deals in the month of October because Amazon decided to do their Prime Days on the 13th and 14th of October. So the holidays really started in mid-October, and you're going to see Black Friday specials happening every Saturday, even more often than that, throughout November and December. So what we've done here is we've actually 6-foot distanced people by time. And what I mean by that, well, by spreading out Black Friday over a number of days, we've spread out the crowds, which we have to do because there's only a certain number of people you can let in your stores at any given time. So by spreading out the deals, we're spreading out the crowds. The other main thing that's going to happen this year is that much more is going to be done online than it's ever been done in the past. So we're going to talk about that in a second. Let me now address the slide that's up. Listen, it's a time to reach out to the experts if you need the help. And you have many different organizations to reach out to. The one closest to me and dearest to my heart is the Virginia SBDC, the Small Business Development Centers. All their help is at no cost, completely 100% confidential, and non-judgmental. No one's going to look at you and say, what in the world were you thinking? So it's non-judgmental. We don't discuss your conversation with us with anyone else. In fact, you're entered into the system as a number, not a name. So it's completely confidential. So reach out to the SBDC. You also have SCORE, which is a group of retired executives from retail, restaurants, and hospitality that can also give you help at no cost. You have your chambers. Reach out to your local chambers. Reach out to economic development in your town. So you have several places to get help, and get it if you need it. I'm also a big believer of hiring skill sets you don't have. So if you're not a numbers person, hire an accountant because you need to know your numbers. You need to know your break even. I've met with business owners before. I say, well, what's your break even? What do you have to do a month to cover your bills? And they'll look at me like a deer in the headlights. They're not sure. And you can't fly blind. You have to know your numbers. So get the help if you need it. So the thing that's come to fruition during the pandemic is that we're going to be selling more online than we ever have in the past as an independently owned retailer or even a restaurant. We're taking online orders now and we're curbside or delivering them. So even restaurants have gone to online sales. So what's important about online? Well, you better have updated your website so that it's as good as it's ever been. You've had 6 months to make it as good as it's ever been. So update your website. And we're going to talk about e-commerce in a second, so I won't get into that yet. So one of the things I want you to do is to put a 30-second video on your website. And by what you do is you film it with your phone. They're HD cameras now. And I want you to upload it onto YouTube. Once it's uploaded on YouTube, you're then going to be able to embed it onto the homepage of your website. And those instructions are easy to follow. And I'm not going to take you through it right now because we don't have time. So simply go to YouTube and type in, how do I put a video on my homepage? And there's a dozen videos showing you exactly how to do it. But the 30-second video, and it's 30 seconds because an adult has the attention span of 30 seconds, is twofold. One is I want you to tell them your elevator speech. What do you do that's different or better than anybody else in town? It's your special sauce. It's what you do that makes your store so popular amongst your shoppers. So it's also your destination statement. Why should someone take their time to visit your store when there's many others to choose from? And you got to be able to tell that to them in a quick 15 to 20 seconds, because the other 15 to 20 seconds needs to be what you've done to your store to make it safe to shop in. And that's extremely important, because I don't want a customer showing up to your store and being surprised by having to wear a mask, or having to stay 6 feet apart when they're in there shopping, or even wait in a line because you can only let X amount of people in your store at a time. I don't want them to be surprised. So in the video, tell them what you've done and what they should expect when they get to your store. Now let's move on to talking about e-commerce and doing business online. So if you don't have a shopping cart on your site and you're not set up for e-commerce, you need to do something right away. You need to take your top dozen products. You know, there's an 80-20 rule in retail. 20% of your inventory produces 80% of your revenue. So I want you to take a portion of that 20%, maybe a dozen products, take pictures of them and post them on your website, and ask your customers to simply call you to order them. And then they can pay with a credit card, and you can ship them or have them ready for curbside, or you can deliver them locally, or they can come in the store and pick them up. So that's if you don't have an e-commerce site at all. But the best case scenario is for you to have a partnership with an e-commerce platform. The biggest one out there is Shopify.com. There's Wix.com. There's Squarespace.com. And those are all e-commerce platforms that allow you to create a shopping cart and contactless payment, because that's another huge concern for the customer today, is not having to touch anything. So contactless payment is important, and we're going to talk about that in a second. There's also a platform that's local in the Shenandoah Valley called Emerge. And they're an outfit that's independently owned in the Valley that can help you go online as well. There's a couple other Big Commerce, there's Lightspeed HQ. So pick one, and there's a lot of free trials going on. And one of the reasons I like Shopify is it's easy and quick to get your products up. You can be online by the end of the day if you choose Shopify in the beginning of the day to go online. So make that happen. And accept online payments. So PayPal, Apple Pay, there's a number of different ways to accept online payments, but make sure that you're capable of doing that. And restaurants as well. And guess what has raised its sleepy head? QR codes. They were passe for a while. I used to teach them years ago, but they're popular again because they're resident applications on a new Apple phone. A QR code is that square barcode that gets scanned by a phone, and it can take you to whatever you've set it up to take your customers to. So restaurants are using QR codes so people can get the menu on their phone, so never touching a menu in the store, and a QR code to pay. So they simply pull the QR code up and it's their receipt, and they can pay you online, never having touched anything in the restaurant or store. So QR codes are popular. Just Google that, and there's free places to make your own QR codes. You can also put a video attached to a QR code, and they can, how cool would it be for them to go to your store after 9 or 10 o'clock at night when you're closed, and you have a QR code on your door that takes them to a video your 30-second video that you made for your website, or have it take them directly to your website. So make sure if you use a QR code and you put it on your door, that underneath the QR code, it tells the customer where you're sending them. So if it's taking them to your website, put the URL of your website under the QR code, or just go to the local sign store, get some vinyl letters, and put your website address, your URL, on your window somewhere so people can get to your website whether you're open or not, or whether they can get in or not, based on a line or whatever's happening in your store at that time. The other thing you're going to have to be set up to do is to ship, because you're going to be shipping more than you've ever shipped in the past if you're doing up to close to 50% of your business online. 90% of the customers surveyed said they plan to shop online this year. They may be out shopping in your store as well, but they're definitely going to use online as well. So you're going to have to be able to ship to them or curbside pickup. And I would encourage you to incentivize people to use BOPS, buy online, pick up in store, because at the end of the day, when you ship to somebody, someone has to pay that shipping. So you're either having the customer pay it or you're paying for it. So there's a cost involved. So, you know, you only have a couple options. You can raise the price of your product slightly to cover shipping. You can have the customer pay for shipping. But many of the big box stores, Amazon included, does free shipping. So you're not competitive if you're not offering free shipping. The other thing that smaller stores, independently owned stores, can do is have a limit on the purchases of free shipping. So say, spend $50 and get free shipping. Spend 75, whatever the number is that works for your scenario. Put a goal of hitting a certain number for free shipping, and it's already proven that customers will buy a second or third product to get them into the free, to hit the free shipping goal. So the other thing there's two other things I want to tell you about shipping. The second thing is you're going to have to manage your inventory in two places. You have your online inventory, which you're using to fill orders that come in online, and then you have your inventory for your store. So all of a sudden you're managing two inventories. And one of the ways to make that easier is to use an online partner to do your online e-commerce. So companies like Shopify help you manage your inventory, which can get complicated if you're not used to doing that. The other point I want to make is when you ship product to a customer, it's an opportunity for you to brand your business. So I want you to use tissue paper and tape that have your logo on it. So there's a company called Sticker Mule that will provide you with tape that has your logo on it, and buy some tissue paper that has your logo on it. So you're branding the package that you're shipping out to your customers. The other thing I encourage you to do is to put a thank you note in the box and a coupon for shopping in the future. So it's called a be back coupon that's good in the next couple weeks, so that you're encouraging additional shopping based on the coupon that you put in the box. So my next point, social media is so important during this time of well, it's important year round, but it's definitely important during the holidays. And you can now sell directly from your social media platforms. So Facebook has one of the Facebook shops, and Instagram now has a format where you can also sell directly from Instagram. So if you don't know how to sell from your social media platforms, find somebody that can help you do that. And I know there's people at the SBDCs that can talk you through that, but learn how to sell directly from social media. you've just created another income stream for yourself. And what's Warren Buffett say? If you don't have more than one income stream, you're that much closer to poverty. And what he means by that is it helps to have more than one way to make money. So he also goes forward to say, if you're not making money while you're sleeping, you're missing the boat. So online sales is open 24 hours a day. It also allows you to go nationwide. It goes global. Anybody in the world can find you on the internet. So know that and take heed. What's going on next? The new normal. Reinvent your business so that it's in sync with the shopping habits due to the pandemic. And my other caution there is you have to continue to watch the customer, because over time they will evolve. The customer's different today than they were in March and April, and they'll be different in January when the holidays are over and we're moving into 2021 still in a pandemic. Now everyone's praying for these vaccines to be available by December. I mean, the news is saying that 2 vaccines could be available as early as December. Now, getting it out to millions of people is another notion altogether. So we're going to be living under the parameters we're under right now for several months, I think. But consumers are not thinking or acting like they were pre-COVID. We all know, and we've all been told, that in-store traffic will be less than it was a year ago. So probably down by 25%. And know that customers will not shop in a store that doesn't appear to be safe. So, one of the things that I recommend is a small checklist that you could put on your front door that says, these are the things that we've done to prepare our stores to shop with us during the pandemic. So not only do you put this video on your website, but you even put a poster on your window. But I also warn you not to cover your windows and doors with posters, because 40% of what you sell is a result from it being in your window. So I'm a big believer that Christmas windows should go forward. I think towns should have contests for Christmas windows, and curb appeal is more important than it's been in the past. So don't think that windows aren't important this year because everybody's shopping online. It's just not true. More people are still going to shop in your store over the holidays. Don't worry about that. Omni-channel, be omni-channel. Offer safe and efficient pickup and fulfillment. Adopt the new safety standards and protocols in your store, and don't get lazy. What happens is people are getting tired of wearing masks. People are getting tired of cleaning the store all day. People don't want to have to clean the handles to their front door all day long. But you can't become complacent, because the COVID germ is alive and well. The virus is out there. So continue to stay on top of your game and continue to make it safe for people to shop. Best practices: continue to communicate to your employees and loyal customers. Some of your employees may be helping you from home now, or they may be in a remote location handling fulfillment for your online orders. So make sure you're communicating with your employees. And by now you should have sent a personal email to your best employees or customers that you have. Because the other 80-20 rule is 20% of your customers produce 80% of your volume. So there's a group of customers that help you pay your bills, and you ought to treat them very special. Use live Facebook and Zoom to have things going on in your store. One of the times we would get busy, I ran a bunch of clothing stores, and we'd always get busiest when we were trying to unpack our trucks. So one of the recommendations I have is do a Zoom video of you unpacking a truck and new product and a holiday product. Get excited. If customers are having fun in your store, open Facebook Live and video it. Some stores will shop by appointment during during COVID. They'll take a couple hours a day during the week and make it for private appointments only. But make sure you announce that on your website that you're closed from noon to 2 or 2 to 4 for private shopping appointments, and tell people how they can sign up for that. Ramp up email marketing right now. People are reading their emails. Emails are still very, very productive. And I want you co-promoting and collaborating with everybody else in town. Listen, all boats rise with the tide. So the better the whole town does, the better the individual stores will do. So make sure you're helping one another. Some more good ideas. Get downloadable coupons and codes online for people to qualify for discounts. A subscription model where they pay you monthly to receive a box of your goods on a monthly basis. What is it? Stitch Fix, and the other one is Bespoke for Men. They're subscription services where you get a box of product once a month. BOGO, buy one, get one. People love getting things for free. So one of the best ways to go on sale is to go buy one, get one. Because what the customer sees is get one free, but what you're doing is marking down each product 25%. Continue with your Customer of the Month awards, birthday and anniversary perks. It might be too late to do a customer survey right now, so let's move to the next slide. Let's see here real quick. Customer engagement. You know, one of the biggest problems with online sales is people that put things in the shopping cart and then abandon the cart without buying. So reach out to those customers with a 10-word email that says, "Are you still interested in the scarf you looked at?" So that's, and there, Shopify and other companies like that have automated emails that can go out to people that have abandoned their shopping cart. Use in your visuals and graphics that you use on your site, don't show crowds and people hugging and touching. Show crowds that are 6 feet apart and wearing masks. Show them in your advertising what's currently going on. So I think we're at 2:45. I think I hit the mark. Thank you for coming. My name is Marc Willson. You can reach me at marc@thevirginiasbdc.org. Questions, comments, anything in the chat box, Lori?
We are free in the chat box, so I wanted to throw it out there one last time. I've unmuted everyone who wants to be to weigh in if they've got any questions. No one's
covered a lot of ground.
So we got time.
You recorded this, right, Lori, so they can get a copy?
Yes, yes.
I covered a lot of ground. There's lots of things you need to be doing.
All participants are. Thank you so much, Marc. We will keep an eye on the chat box, but it looks like everybody is well understanding of what they need to do right now. Now it's a matter of doing it.
Exactly. I can bring a horse to water, but I can't make it drink.
Thank you so much for attending this year. We always enjoy everything you have to provide.